Okay, we can start this session. Okay, welcome to room 1, AI, Natural Language Processing room, with the moderator Firdaus. Before we start the session, I would like to inform you that this session has been recorded, and the presenters is expected to use the virtual background of the conference during this session. And please mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Okay, we can start our session today. The session rule is all presenters will be given 7 minutes for presenting their works. And the question and answer session for all presenters will be conducted after all of the presentation presented. If the audience wants to ask the question, you can raise your hand. The question should be brief and clear. And once again, please mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 paper in this session. And our session is only one day, only today. We have 25 minutes for one paper, including the presentation and question. Okay, we can start for the first paper with the title "Customer Segmentation uses the fuzzy K-means clustering method based on the RFM model." Case study PT Kalunga Jaya Abadi with the authors Kendita and Tisa Monita. Okay, Tisa.
Hello.
Yeah, you can start, Tisa.
Okay. I share screen. Can you see my screen?
Okay.
Okay. Gimana sih ini? Sorry, I want to ask, have I opened my camera or not?
Yeah, you should open. All participants should open the camera.
Okay, wait.
You only have 7 minutes to present your presentation.
Sorry. Where's the setting? Ini gimana ya? Okay. Video, okay. Good, share screen. Share. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for the time you give to me. My name is Tisa Monita as a presenter and as the second author, and Miss Kendita Tania as the first author. In this conference, I want to present our journal. The title is Customer Segmentations Use the Fuzzy K-means Clustering Method based on the RFM model. So it gets on the introduction. So In this era, information technology is not only focused on the aspect of ease of transactions. Companies aware of the latest technology have used existing transactions data and apply data mining technology so that company can find patterns and identify customers to provide informations and the nature of behavior of customers to provide informations benefit for the company and for the customers themselves. PT Kalunga Jaya Abadi is a company that sell motorbikes, spare parts, Eki, attire, and ATC in South Sumatra. PT Kalunga Jaya Abadi have around 10,000 transactions in each year with 300 customers, and PT Kalunga Jaya Abadi has already have sales and accounting information system. So from that data, this is come an opportunity how to increase company value based on this data and how to use this data to make it more useful for the company. Because why? Because in customer segmentation is very important for marketing strategy because it can help companies to build different strategy and be adopt to the characteristic of each group. In this research, we use fuzzy segments clustering. So let's go to related research. We already researched that there is two paper. The first paper is customer segmentation through fuzzy segments and fuzzy RFM method is from Journal of Theoretical and Applied Information Technology. And the second paper is customer segmentation by using RFM model and clustering method, a case study in retail industry. The first one is using fuzzy segments and fuzzy RFM with method tools, and the second one is using K-means algorithm clustering method. Let's start to literature review. The first is data mining. Truban says that data mining is the process that uses statistics, mathematics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to find useful information and knowledge from the extractions and the compositions of large database. This is a stage for data mining, data cleansing, integration, selection, transformation, data mining, pattern evaluation, and knowledge presentation. And then we go to clustering. Clustering is a method for finding similarity between data and grouping them. So in clustering, the object will be partitioned into groups so that the objects in one group are similar to each other and different in the characteristics in the other groups. And in RFM, or recency frequency monetary, is a method introduced by Hughes and used by various industries ranging from manufacturer, retailer, services, and etc. The attribute RFM is recency, frequency, and monetary. And the last literature review is fuzzy segments algorithm. Fuzzy segments algorithm is a clustering algorithm as a development of the hard K-means methods. FCM is produce a fuzzy grouping model so that data can be member of the cluster formed based on the degree of membership, which is between 0 to 1. Sorry. Okay. The algorithm is input data and then create center with VKG and then calculating the amount of objective functions, calculate change partition, and the last is checking the stop condition with the following condition. If it follow that condition, it stops, but it's not. But if not, it repeat from the step 4 until it follow the condition to stop. The research method is CRISP-DM. CRISP-DM is cross-industry standard process data mining method. Is a standard process as well as a research method. Explanation for the stage of methodology is first business understanding. The phase is the first stage that will be carried out for the research, and the second is data understanding. The data understanding phase is focused on collecting data, raw data, and studying that data. Primary data used in this research is sales report data transactions in 2018 in PT Kalunga Jaya Abadi. The third is data preparation. It includes cleansing data from outlier, and then selecting records, adjust model with modeling.
PowerPoint, please.
Sorry?
The PowerPoint.
The PowerPoint?
Can you move the PowerPoint to the
This is
top? you discuss?
The discussion. Okay, let's go to the most important part. This is discussions. In the first is business understanding. As I explained before, in this business understanding, uh, we we use the customer data and transaction based on this existing RFM model, and then the second so is data understanding. From this raw data, we group into group based on the customer, and we select the attribute. This is recency, frequency, monetary, and we change the customer name into ID 1, 2, 3 until around 3,000 customers. So this is the data that we extract from the raw data. After we already have this data, we came to the third step. This is data preparation. In data preparation is split into 3 steps. This is data transformation, clean data from outlier, and then normalization. First, data transformation, as these pictures is shown that the data is queued in one side and there is an outlier data is figured with 3D scatter plot. So we use a logarithmic method to make the data is more spreading. This is this example table for data transformation with logarithmic.
Okay,
And the
you
second,
can, the time is up. You can move forward to the conclusion.
okay. The conclusion is this is 2 cluster and 3 cluster, and we use evaluation that say that 2 cluster is the best cluster for these studies. And then we create an analysis cluster which say that the cluster 1 is more benefit to the company than cluster 2, and we create a dashboard to make company easier to get the result of the clustering method. This is my presentation. Sorry, time and place. I return to moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tisa Monita. First, I want to change the role first. The audience can ask the question after the presenter present their presentation. Okay. There are any question? Okay, participant. All the participants in this room, you can chat for this presentation. You can raise your hand. Okay, if it is not, I will ask a question. You use the fuzzy Siemens clustering. Okay.
Yeah.
Since the fuzzy Siemens clustering is quite common and old method in the clustering, why don't you choose the new one? As you know, there are so many clustering method in the recent years. Okay.
Okay, I will answer why I use fuzzy Siemens and not like K-means or other clustering method, because first in fuzzy Siemens there is no absolute member. So in one customer, it not absolute to place in cluster 2 or in cluster 1, because one customer it can be a member of cluster 1 with 0.5%, and in cluster 2 in 0.950% of, or like this. So it's not absolute that one customer is only in one cluster. There can be one customer can be have a degree membership in cluster 1 or in cluster 2 and in cluster 3. So that's why I use fuzzy same means.
Okay. Okay, there are any question? Okay, if it is not, we can move to another paper. Okay, thank you, Ms.
Monita.
Isa Monita.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Firdaus.
We can go to the next paper entitled "The Power of Media That Influence the Selling Number of B737 MAX 8 After the Two Major Accidents." Okay.
Okay, thank you, moderators.
Okay, Mr. Dedi Kurniawan. Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for letting me to join your first room in this ICONISC. Today, on behalf of our team, I would like to present about our latest findings about aircraft industries. So let me just directly to share my screens. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, wait. Sorry, guys. Can you see my screens?
Yes.
Okay. Today I would like to present about our titles on behalf of our team. The title is "The Power of Media That Influence the Selling Numbers of B737 MAX 8 After the Two Major Accidents." So, this is my outline today's. The first part is the introductions, the backgrounds that encourage us to take some research on this part, and then methodology, result discussion, and conclusion. Okay. For the first part is introductions. Our latest finding is to focus for the research is finding the media empowerment that could influence selling the aircraft jet. So our research is related to the how the power of media that could influence the aircraft jet, because because the aircraft jet is also brand. It's also a branch image, commercial branch image that need to be a good brands to sell their products. So it's we will present our latest findings to this. Those factors are required to meet the customer satisfactions by the aircraft manufacturers. The way to inform the qualifications that has been built by manufacturer is by using the media. In our sample case is we will use the B737, especially the latest versions, which is the MAX 8. Because this aircraft is the most popular products from the aircraft manufacturers, which is Boeing's. Okay, the first is what is the Boeing? Boeing is aircraft manufacturers, was founded in July 15 of July and in the 1916s at the Seattle, Washington by William Boeing. So actually Boeing has the four part. I mean, the first part is called Baby Boeing, the cluster it, and then the second is Classic, next generation, and then the last is the Max type. So Boeing always have good orders because of their because of their good brand value. For example, in the first generations, Boeing's always have a good amount of fulfillment from the delivery. From the order. As we can see here, every version has the more than 90% of fulfillments from the orders, and then also in the next generations, Boeing also has a good order because of their good brand image from hundreds, 200 and 200C versions in the second generations, and then they also have a good order in the classics and right charts bar. You can see here Boeing always have a good fulfillment rates for their orders, and also have a very high orders for every versions of his Boeing until the last versions and the disasters come. Boeing have almost 5,000 of orders, and then they can only hundreds fulfillments because of these disasters. We in our research, we want to compare what is the brand value of Boeing's before and the last disaster. Before and after disasters. As we can see here, the two major disasters, the first come from the Lion Air in October 29, and the last is by the Ethiopian Airlines and crash in Addis Ababa, 10th of March in 2019. Because before of these disasters, Boeing has more than 5,000 orders, but after disasters, they can only fulfill 387 delivery. So that means 4,000 and more than 4,000 cannot be fulfilled by Boeing's, or maybe because of the cancellations of the products. So from what we deliver today is we want to analyze what is the effect of the media affecting the fulfillment of these products. Our general methodology here. The first process is we are collecting the media that related to the Boeing 737s, especially MAX 8, and then we crawl it, and then we process it to understand what is if the news is related to Boeing or not, and then we separate it into the three class, which are the first class is positive, neutral, and then negative. And then we're developing these data sets, and then the last is we report if there's any relations between the cancellation of the product and the negative use from the media. So here is our framework, our framework of research. First, we collecting the use, and then we verify we collecting the news, and then after it we store it. We do two types of verification. The first is sentiment manual verifications. We employ five.
Already time is up. Maybe you can.
Okay.
Make your presentation faster.
Okay. So here's the framework. The way we collecting the use, we employ the environment using some sort of API endpoint, and then We verify using the manual, verify whether the use is related to Boeing, and also have a three class, which is positive, neutral, and then negative. Third-party surveys, which is parallel dots and alien. So here's the verification, the automatic verifications output, which is show that the polarity and the confidence of the text, and then the count results and counted that manual verification showed that before.
I'm sorry, Mr. Reddy, maybe you can jump to the conclusion because your time is up.
Okay, in the conclusions, we show that the effect of this media was giving false actions from several countries to ground the aircraft. Several countries also action pushed the FAA Boeing to look back of their system and design in the plane. As the final wave of this sentiment use, many air companies had to cancel the order requesting the Boeing to finalize the problem before they are sending the order to the giving guarantee of their project. So we found three highlights. That the first is sentiment news from the neutral to negative perspective after two significant accidents of Boeing B737 MAX 8 has been conducted. And then the second point is several countries action push the FAA and Boeing to look back at their system or design of the plane. And the last highlight is many other companies have to cancel the orders, requesting the Boeing to finalize their problem before they are sending the order and giving guarantee of their product. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. If you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Deddy Kurniawan. There are any questions from the participants? If you have any question, you can raise your hands. Okay, no question.
Okay.
If it is not, I will ask a question for Mr. Deddy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Deddy, how you analyze the class that you have classified from your data?
Because we want to know about the sentiments of the news, so and also about the brands of the products. So we use three classes with positive, neutral, and then negative. We want to know about
and how you can
okay, could you explain more, sir?
How you connect the three class to how the Boeing sell their aircraft?
We do the two verification. First is manual, and then second in automatics. Then we generalize the result, and then compare the result before and after time frame of the disasters. And then we check that in our result we found that we can see here before and then after accidents, the result is the negative class is increasing contrastly almost 100%, then we found that the media, the news from the media is also impacting the selling of the latest versions of Boeings.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Deddy Kurniawan. There is any question? Okay, if it is not, we can go to the other paper. Okay, thank you, Mr. Deddy Kurniawan.
Thank you.
Okay. And the next presentation will be presented by Noperida Damanik with the paper entitled Sentiment Analysis of Indonesian Horror Movie from YouTube Trailer Comments. Okay, please, Ms. Noperida Damanik to present the paper.
Okay, thank you. Can you see my screen, sir?
Okay, you can see the presentation. Okay, I will remind you that the presentation is only 7 minutes.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon, Pak Firdaus and all team from Iconis Conference, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Noperida Damanik. I'm a master student of Universitas Indonesia in Magister of Information Technology. Now I will present my paper about sentiment analysis of Indonesian horror movie from YouTube trailer comments. And here is the outline that I will present. Before I present the detail of my paper, I would like to tell you what's actually sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is a process of determining whether an opinion is positive, negative, or neutral related to certain topic. It's also known as opinion mining or deriving the opinion. And sentiment analysis uses a concept of natural language processing, text analysis, and machine learning methods to identify and extract subjective information. So the background of my research is most people express emotions, sentiments, or opinions via social media. And YouTube is the biggest online video platform and categorized as a social media. And movie producer produce their movie, and they doing promotion by creating a channel on YouTube and sharing the trailers of the upcoming movies there. They hope that people will watch their movies and comments on the video. And comments on YouTube are frequently used to express an audience's opinion or sentiment on a particular video or movie trailer. And according to articles of Stephen Follows, popular genre in global film is horror. The percentage of horror movies 20 years ago is around 4.3% of all movies, whereas in 2017 is 12.4% of all movies. We can see that it increased. However, in Indonesia, a horror movie is not as popular as drama and comedy. So I get a report from Film Indonesia report. We can see that the total of audiences per genre from 2015 up to 2020, we can see that the horror genre is not a favorite compared to comedy and drama, and the total audiences is popular by drama genre. So there's a need to know the sentiment or opinion of audiences regarding the quality of Indonesian horror movie, whether the expressed opinion is positive, negative, or neutral. So the objectives of this research is the first is to implement algorithms. In this research, we implement three algorithms. They are multinomial naive bias, support vector machine, and logistic regression. And the second, we want to know knowing user opinion regarding Indonesian horror movies. And the third, we want to help producer and box office to decide a number of movies that will be produced and improve the quality of Indonesian horror movies, and to increase promotion and help box office like cinemas to define which movie should be shown in a theater that could be watched by many audiences that could highly benefit their company. I have read some literature review done by Mr. M. Muhammad Samsul Rahim. He performed a data mining experiment on YouTube dataset using several data mining algorithms. And the purpose of the research is to help producers in formulating the strategy of a new marketing approach. And then Ahmad also doing a research and proposed a novel method to predict revenue of box office by mining the intention of people to purchase a movie ticket in box office. And then Hina Chimani also doing a research to predict a movie success of 20 Hollywood movies released in 2016 based on sentiment analysis on YouTube trailers comment as well. And Abinizar Muhammad also doing a research to do a sentiment analysis of YouTube comments as well. And he used naive Bayes and super vector machine classifier. And research methodology that I used in this research is the first, doing problem identification, such as get information why we need to do a sentiment analysis of Indonesian horror movie, and we do literature review, and we collect the data, doing pre-processing and feature extraction, and then we classify the sentiment using several algorithms. And here the flow process of our work. First, we crawling data from YouTube using YouTube API, and then we collect the data. And pre-processing process that we do is removing mention, removing hashtags, removing punctuation, removing links, removing extra white spaces, removing numbers, normalization, removing foreign language. Since in this research we need Indonesian language, so foreign language we remove. And then we do tokenizing, removing stop words and stemming. And then we generate a model using 3 classification algorithms, namely naive Bayes, support vector machine, and logistic regression. And then we evaluate the model. So performance measurement that we used in this research is accuracy, recall, precision, and F1 score. Why we not only use accuracy in this research, since our data is imbalanced, so we consider to use recall and precision and also F1 score. So the total comments that we collect in this research is about 11 and 486 comments, which is we get around 7,000 positive comments and around 2,000 negative comments. And we selected movie selected randomly based on popular horror movies in Indonesia. And then we do training. We separate our data for training data and testing data. And here is the sample of the data. Like gila, keren parah. The word keren, we assume that it's positive sentiment. And then we extract the feature from the words from the comments. And here is the comparison of models that we get. So the best model that we get in this research is support vector machine. Why we say that support vector machine is the best? As we know, accuracy is heavy. Before we can use accuracy since our data is imbalanced. So we need to consider precision and recall. As we see, the models that has the highest precision is naive Bayes, but the model that has the highest recall is support vector machine. So we need F1 score to harmonic or to balance the precision and recall value. So we decide that support vector machine, that model that has the F1 score, the highest F1 score is support vector machine. conclusion is the best classification model used in this study is support vector machine, and it can be used to get the sentiment of the audience regarding an upcoming Indonesian horror movie based on comments on YouTube trailer, with the accuracy around 95.64%, and so on. And for future work, we suggest doing sentiment analysis on all Indonesian movie genres, not only the horror genre, so that we can predict whether an upcoming movie will get a positive response or not. And we suggest also using other classification models out of 3 classification algorithms that we used before. I think that's all I can present for all of you. If you have any question, kindly.
Thank you, Ms. Noporida. There is any question from all participants in this room? Okay, any question? Okay, if there is no question, I would like to ask a question for Ms. Noporida.
Okay, thank you.
Noporida, how use of some language influence the result of this results?
Sorry, sir, I could understand. Could you please explain it more detail?
Okay. In YouTube comment,
Yes.
sometimes use English, sometimes use bahasa. Is there any is there the language influence the result?
English language influence.
There is a language have an impact to the result.
Oh, sorry. Since we don't do experiment with the old language, so I can't answer. Is it there is impact for the other language if we include our language? So because since we didn't do the experiment, so I can't answer it, sir.
Yeah, in your data,
Yes.
have you analyzed the language that they use, the commentator use in the YouTube?
Yes, we analyze the commenter. And for your information, sir, we do before we do. Before we process the data, we label it manually. So we just we read the comment one by one, and we label the comment like that.
Is there any comment with English?
Yes, there are many comments with English. Yes.
So you analyze all of the language in the comment.
Yes.
You don't choose which is bahasa, or this one is language English or not.
We choose. So if we find the comments with the other language except Indonesian language, we didn't include it in our data.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. There is any question? Okay, if it is not, okay, we can go to another presentation. Thank you, Ms. Noporida Damanik.
Thank you, sir.
For your good presentation.
Okay, sir.
We can go to next paper, next presentation with title Twitter Sentiment Analysis, a study on the Indonesian government's policy towards the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay.
Thank you,
Ms. Dian Yutika Rizky. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everybody. Has Indonesia? I will share screen first.
kampungnya, tahun 2 tahun di kampung juga nggak berubah-ubah nih, orangnya emang sablon ya. Misalnya, akhirnya dia ingin mengubah keluarganya.
May I start, sir?
Tahun 2 tahun dia ingin mengubah keluarganya, nggak berubah juga keluarganya. Ya wes lah, akhirnya dia ingin mengubah dirinya sendiri. Baru sadar dia. Baru sadar.
Okay. Has the Indonesian government policy handled the COVID-19 pandemic reaped a lot of public sentiment on Twitter? Hi, I'm Dianitika Rizky, the author of this paper. The title of the paper is Twitter Sentiment Analysis, Case Study on Indonesian Government Policy Handle the COVID-19 Pandemic. COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a recently found coronavirus type. This virus outbreak in Wuhan, China on December 2019. COVID-19 is a pandemic occurring in many countries around the world. In Indonesia, this pandemic was started by finding of the first 2 cases on March 2nd, 2020. Then the number of cases continued to increase until May 14, 2020. Recorded 16,006 positive cases of coronavirus, 3,518 recovered, and 1,043 died. The policies issued were the reduction of electricity costs, pembatasan sosial berskala besar (PSBB), the prohibition of homecoming, credit relaxation, and COVID-19 stimulus budget of 405.1 trillion rupiah. Based on a survey conducted by We Are Social, Twitter users in Indonesia are ranked 5th social media, 56% from total population. The public creates the shared contents through tweet in a variety of contents, including government policies. The tweet data collected by referring to 5 governments in handling COVID-19 pandemic. This is an example of a user tweet related to opinion and critiques of government policy. The purpose of this research is to identify the public sentiment and how Indonesian government handles the COVID-19 pandemic through various policies. The study analyzed the sentiment of tweets and each government policy to the result of the analysis. The literature study. First, we use Twitter Application Programming Interface (API). Twitter has data privacy features for developers who need data collection. They must use API libraries. Twitter offers 2 APIs for collecting data: Streaming API and Search API. Data collection in this study used the Search API. Second, sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is an area for studying people's habit regarding any topic and event. Third, NIF-based algorithm. In this sentiment analysis carried out in this study, each word that appears has a weight, and then the total weight is calculated to determine whether the sentence is positive, negative, or neutral. And last, R language. To use the R language is recommended to install RStudio as an IDE, integrated development environment. Research methodology. First, data collection. In each policy, use a different keywords. The data is collected randomly through crawling result from Twitter platform from May 4th until 12th, 2020. Second, data preprocessing. In this step has 5 sub-steps. They are cleansing, case folding, stop word removal, stemming, and tokenizing. Third, sentiment classification and manual weighing. In this process, clean tweets are matched against a list of positive and negative words that refer to research. The study identified words using a sentence strength algorithm. Fourth, data visualization. After the sentiment classification and manual weighing process, the result of positive, negative, and neutral sentiments data are obtained. The data is visualized in a pie chart. 5. NIF-based classification. In this process, result from manual weighing used as a training data and test data. And the last, result analysis. This process analyzes the result of the first and the fifth process that has been done. Based on the research step, the number of tweets with positive, negative, and neutral sentiment in each policy can be seen in this table. The results show a more negative sentiment of first policy because the reduction in electricity cost was only applied for the subsidies electric category. In second policy, it showed more neutral sentiment because it was dominated by tweets that were an appeal or invitation carry out the PSBB. The neutral sentiment is more dominant in third policy, showing the people who are aware of help and will obey the rules. In fourth policy, negative sentiment is higher because the credit relaxation does not mean that charge or are paid off. This is what makes people feel difficult even though they have been given relaxation. And last, neutral sentiment is as much as positive sentiment of the fifth policy because with the allocated stimulus budget to handle the COVID-19 pandemic, the public hopes that the budget will be used properly. This is a pie chart that shows the comparison of the number of tweets with positive, negative, and neutral sentiment in each policy. After finding the sentiment result with manual weighing, the NIF-based algorithm is used to predict sentiment analysis using manual weighing result as training data and test data. And the conclusion from the result of the analysis of this study shows the public is very reactive to the various policy by Indonesia government in handling COVID-19 pandemic. The reaction from the public was quite varied, from those who criticized gave appeals to support the policy. The different percentage of sentiment show that every policy issue is necessarily fully accepted or rejected by the community. Thank you. Stay safe and healthy.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dian. Is there any question from the participant? Okay, any question? You have the same topic with Ms. Noporida, our last presenter. There is no question. I will ask you a question as usual.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If we look in your presentation, the result is underfitting. Why don't you choose the method, the classifier or the method that handle the overfitting problem? I think there are so many techniques or method, the latest method that can handle the overfitting one.
Okay. Your question is why I use this algorithm, sir?
Yeah, the result is the classification result. You can see from the result of the classification, the accuracy is under overfitting. The training result is quite different from the testing result. The data train 0.83 and the test data 0.50. You can see the result is overfitting. Maybe you can choose the latest research found the method that can solve the overfitting problem. Why don't you choose that method? You can find on the Google Scholar or on another paper, another journal.
Okay. In this result, the data train and data test is too far. The result their accuracy between data train and data test. Because I use the reference. I use the reference that they do the same method, but the other topic. We use manual weighing first. After that, the result of manual weighing we use to NAF-based classification. We take the train data and test data. And in this reference of this paper, say a NAF-based algorithm from the various studies on Twitter data mining, NAF-based algorithm is the most accurate algorithm.
In what year the paper published?
Published 2014.
By default, maybe. Yeah, maybe you can search the literature, the latest literature. Maybe you can. I hope you find the best method to solve this problem. Okay, thank you, Ms. Dian.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. From the schedule, we should take a break. But I want to ask you, can we go to another presentation? Okay, from the schedule, we should take a break after this paper presented. And I want to ask all of you, all the participants, that we can find and we can continue to our next paper. Okay. Can we go to another paper, another presentation? Have you agree with this decision, moderator decision? Not presentation. Okay, we can go to another paper entitled with title Scaling Law Model for Nanofiber Size Prediction in Electrospun of Polyphenol Pyrrolidone Madeira Fine Leaves Extract. This paper will be presented by Muhammad Al-Mafi. Okay. Please, Muhammad Al-Mafi, you can present your presentation.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So in the you can see my presentation. Okay. Thank you very much for good attention, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone, for our presenter in the session. Okay, today I would like to present my paper, the scaling law model for nanofiber size prediction, electrospoon of polyphenylpiridone, Madeira leaf extract. My name is Muhammad Rama Almafi. I will just begin my presentation. Okay. Introduction, development of research and application nanotechnology has occurred rapidly in the last decade. The industrial revolution demand advanced technology, which has consequence for the control of material size, design, and fabrication at the nanometer scale. Nanofiber can represent it as a nanotechnology system because of its properties that can be strength, could carry activities, material. Nanofiber application include the application of supercapacitor, racing, delivery, batteries, membrane system, and etc. Polyphenylpiridone, or shortly named PVP, and Madeira main leaf extract were used in this experiment. Several studies have related that PVP has been widely used as a drug carrier. Madeira is now a traditional herbal medical plant. In our study, we investigate the morphology prediction of a fiber size using scaling law model of the composite PVP Madeira leaf extract. Okay, next. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. In this experimental, the material used to make the fiber polyphenylpiridone, I purchased from the CIMAL Singapore, and Madeira fan leaf extract I purchased from the local market, and acetic acid analytic grade assay was purchased from the Barataco Chemical Indonesia. And the experiment I use composite formula shown in the table 1. Okay. This formula is used to determine the concentration of each composite solution to be making, while our synthesis use electrospinning with the process parameter in table 2. The result we obtained here observed using the fluorescence of microscope. Okay. Okay. Next. Morphology and distribution. The morphology and distribution PVP Madeira nanofiber with characterization using the fluorescence microscope. Figure 1 show the PVP Madeira of PS1 to PS3 fiber mat. The obtained fiber have a similar morphology, namely of forming a fiber resembling a continuous band with a diameter of nanometer. In addition, the morphology format is not influenced by presence of Madeira in PVP matrix. The fiber are able to maintain orderly and bit-free, even though there are different in fiber for large and small size. And there are no defects such as presence of broken fiber bit. Okay. Okay, next, the morphology distribution. Figure 2 show the diameter of distribution PVP and nanofiber from PS1 to PS4 with the distribution of diameter size 100 nanometer to 1800 nanometer range. The fiber diameter standard deviation homogeneity showing in the table 3. Coefficient of variance ratio is smaller than 0.3. The fiber are classified in homogeneity categories. Okay, next, the scaling of model. Table 2 show the result observation of electrical conductivity, flow rate, dielectric, and PVP Madeira nanofiber from the PS1 for PS4. PS1 is solution a greatest conductivity of 0.006924 meter, proportional to the fiber diameter of 0.646 micrometer. In contrast, PS4 solution with the smallest conductivity 0.0000363 meter, proportional to fiber diameter of 1.945 micrometer. Electrical conductivity play a very important role in controlling the size of the nanofiber during the electrospinning process. Okay. The last scaling law model, figure 3, show the logarithm of the fiber diameter measurement for both empirical data and theoretical calculation as a function of flow rate against electrical conductivity. The hexagon served in empirical data for the experiment result. The triangular serve is empirical data from the result of the research using polymer pigment nanoparticle composite. Meanwhile, round served in empirical data from the result of the research using PVV submicron particle loaded by green tea extract fiber. And this result, precisely of the theoretical model in excellent condition and have been in R coordinate with the predical diameter confirmed by experiment R square, equation and fiber diameter can be controlled by adjusting properties of the solution flow rate and electrical conductivity. Okay. Conclusion, PVV material nanofiber have successful with the distribution of diameter size. Therefore, the diameter of nanofiber can be predicted by the scaling law equation and fiber diameter can be controlled by adjusting properties of solution flow rate and electrical conductivity. Thank you for your good attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah. Back to the committee. Thank you.
Is there any question for this presentation? Okay, any question? Okay, if it is not, actually, I don't really understand what I've done, so I don't have a question.
Yes, thank you. It's really about nanotechnology and system. Thank you.
Okay, maybe we can go to another presentation with the paper title, the morphology and fiber size prediction with scaling law model from composite polyether acrylonitrile reduction graphene oxide. It will be presented by Mr. Muhammad Dhani Pratama Lamura.
This Dhani Lamura. This room global. Global room. Please the invite. Dhani Lamura.
Dhani Lamura. So, who will be present this paper?
This paper.
Me, but I am in global room lost connection.
Okay, maybe you can go to.
Oh, yeah. Wait. I am joined in the room. Okay. Check. Hello. I want to share screen my PowerPoint. Okay. Baik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik. Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Today I want to present our paper with the title is the morphology and fiber size prediction with scaling law model from composite polyether sulfone polyacrylonitrile reduction graphene oxide using electrospinning method. My team is Ms. Rida Anissa, Muhammad Rahman Alafi, Agung Mataram, Ida Srianti, and Jaidan Johari. Okay. Well, let's start from introduction. Ultrafine fibers and porous membrane from polymer solution can be produced by electrospinning with simple and effective. In the production of nanofiber membrane, stable fiber size distribution is very important. However, morphology study and prediction of fiber diameters size models using mathematical models are still few. Furthermore, according to Johari et al. 2020, that the prediction of porous membrane diameter is very important to reduce the risk of failure in the nanofiber production process, and the resulting fiber distribution is stable. Due to limited and expensive material. Okay. Then in many study of material science on nanofibers, it has been discussed a lot about their physicochemical characteristic. However, morphology study and prediction of the nanofiber size, their diameter size models using mathematical model are still few. Okay, next. First, in this, there are picture of tool and material that we use in this research. First, we will dissolve the solution with the solution parameter. As you can see, there are two tables. The first table is explaining about solvent concentrate, and the second table electrospinning parameter process. Okay. Solution parameter using hot plate magnetic stirring for 24 hours at a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius and conductivity rotation speed of 300 RPM, and labeled sample F01, F02, and F03. Next, the solution was transferred into a 10 milli string equipped and spoon using electrospinning. After the sample was absorbed using a microscope fluorescence, and the diameter size analysis use image G 1.52 software, and the analysis data was with normal distribution process using Origin Pro 2018. Next, result and discuss. This figure shows the morphology of composite, where image is F01, F02, and F03 fibers. The result of microscope fluorescence were successful is confirmed that the lowest concentrate in this study. It can be seen that the resulting nanofiber has two forms, namely peak A. Peak A is showing bit fiber bit, and peak B, figures B and C show smooth fiber. This can be influenced by the amount of polymer concentration, because the less polymer concentration make the solution viscosity and polymer chain bonds low, which will cause the Taylor jet condition to be unstable during the nanofiber polarization process. And then the figure show distribution size diameter of composite fiber. It has been observed that increasing the concentration of polymer solution result in a large mean diameter, meanwhile the standard deviation decrease. And the result of coefficient of variation confirm that all fiber distribution were homogeneity occurred when the ratio between the standard deviation at the mean diameter of fiber was less than next, the table result PES-PAN RGO sample prediction of the homogeneous. Okay, sorry. This figure shown the logarithm of the fiber diameter measures for both empirical data and theoretical calculation as a function of the flow rate of electrical. The cycle, the triangle, and the hexagon are data obtained from previous study of pure polymer, composite, and experimental result. The experimental linear fitting data for the flow rates.
Maybe you can faster your presentation.
Okay. Okay. Logarit lines in the range 10 the power over 4. Okay. The result of R square experiment approach is 0.99. It is understood that the fiber diameter is in very good condition and more or less in accordance with the theoretical model. Thus, controlling the fiber diameter can be adjusted the parameter of the electrospinning process, namely electrical conductivity and flow rate. For the conclusion, the production and prediction of the morphological law model and scale of the composite have been successful using the electrospinning technique. Also, the results show that the diameter and the nanofiber experiment with the electrospinning method was the same as the prediction result using the scaling law method. Okay, I think enough. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any question? From this presentation, there is any question from the participant? Okay, no question. I think the topic same as the previous one, and I'm sorry, I don't really understand what the topic is. So we shall we can continue to another paper. Okay, thank you, Mr. Rani Pratama. Okay, thank you, Mr. Rani Pratama. Okay, we can go to another presentation with the title, The Morphology and Scaling Law Model of Polyvinyl Pyrrolidone Cellulose Acetate with Aloe Vera Extract Fiber using Electrospinning Method. And this paper will be presented by Maureta Pulungan.
Okay, thank you. I will share screen the PowerPoint first. Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Can I start the presentation? Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Today I will present about our paper with the title is the morphology and scaling law model of polyphenol pyrrolidone cellulose acetate with aloe vera extract fiber using electrospinning method. And our team is me as the first author, and the second author is Muhammad Rama Al-Mafi, the third author is Ida Sriyanti, and the fourth author is Jaidan Jawhari as the corresponding author. Introduction. Electrospinning is a simple, practical, and efficient method of producing fiber with micrometer to nanometer size. The fiber that produced by electrospinning method has an extensive surface area, high porosity, and also good mechanical and biological properties. Biomaterial, synthetic polymer, or mixed biomaterial and synthetic polymer have been successfully produced using electrospinning method. For example, chitosan PVA, cellulose acetate, polyester urethane, chloroacetate natural rubber, PVA, and PVP with Garcinia mangusana L extract. But the composite of PVP-CA-EA nanofiber synthesis is still small. PVP widely used in health field, and PVP used because PVP had good biocompatibility and biodegradability, non-toxic, and can be mixed with synthetic polymer or other biomaterials. Cellulose acetate selected because it has high tensile strength and elasticity. In addition, aloe vera extract as a herbal remedy selected because it has active components such as antibacterial and antioxidant. Studies on morphology and scaling law model is rare. Prediction to explain polymer material specification are important in order to improve the advancement of the polymer industry. To predict fiber size, it's necessary to pay attention to solution parameter, process parameter, and environmental parameter. In this EA for and prediction size using scaling law model. And the material that we use in this experiment is polyphenol pyrrolidone, cellulose acetate, acetic acid, and aloe vera extract. To produce PVC-CA-EA fiber, polyphenol pyrrolidone, and cellulose acetate polymer with concentration 13% dissolved in acetic acid with a ratio between polymer and solvent is 7:3. After that, the solution is centrifugated for 4 hours. Next, mix aloe vera extract and polyphenol pyrrolidone cellulose acetate with a variation of the ratio between polymer and extract of 5:1, 5:3, and 5:5, and label it with PCE1, PCE2, and PCE3. And the solution was transferred into a 10 millistring equipped and spoon using electrospinning for 7 hours. And morphology of PVP-CA fiber was observed using a fluorescent microscope. The diameter size and analysis used image 1.52A software, and the analysis results were made normal distribution using Origin Pro 2018 software. For the figure A, this is the result of microscope fluorescent fiber with PVP-CA solution constant and aloe vera extract solution was made verified or variation. Label 1 PCE1 is figure A, PCE2 is figure B, and PCE3 is figure C. The resulting fiber are homogeneous and bead-free. This bead-free fiber is affected by the viscosity of the solution. Next, this is the figure 2 show the size distribution of the diameter with the distribution of fiber diameter size ranging from 100 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. For figure A, show that the diameter of the fiber is 743 with the standard deviation is 114 with the coefficient of variation is 0.14, and for the second sample or PCE2 is figure B with the diameter is 500 98 with the coefficient variation is 0.16, and the figure C is the diameter size is 30,011 with the coefficient variation is 0.226. This size is have an homogeneous fiber. The higher viscosity of the solution, the fiber size is greater. Meanwhile, the higher conductivity causes more polymer chain dispersed at the specified time to be spun and elongate are greater. Next is table 2. From the diameter size of the fiber, we can find the electrical conductivity, and the electrical conductivity, flow rate, the electric constant, fiber diameter, and droplet size can shown in the table 2. Next, this is from the table 2, we can find the logarithmic of the fiber diameter measured for both empirical data and theoretical calculation as a function of the flow rate of the electrical conductivity. The square with the red color and the circle with the black color is the data obtained from the previous studies of the pure polymer that experiment from the Jauhari et al. And Widyandari et al. And the blue one or the hexagonal shape is the data that we find from the experimental. The dotted line is used to describe the approximate size of the fiber diameter, which is predicting using equation 1 and equation 2. The experimental R square value close to 0.9667. This is indicated that the fiber diameter is in very good condition and almost in accordance with the theoretical model. The prediction and fiber diameter control can carry out by controlling the process parameter such as flow rate and the electrical conductivity. And the conclusion about our experiment is the morphology and scaling law model of polyphenol pyrrolidol cellulose acetate with aloe vera extract has been successfully synthesized using electrospinning method and fiber diameter predicted. The experimental R square is close to the value of 0.9667. The results are show that the fiber diameter is in a very good condition and almost close to be the theoretical model. I think that's all for your information. This research was financially and supported from the Sriwijaya University, Republic of Indonesia under the University Excellent Research Grant or PUPT. I think that's all. Thank you for your attention. Please feel free to ask me a question or comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Maureta. Okay. From the participant, is there any question? Okay, there is any question? If it is not, once again, I'm so sorry. Same as the previous, I don't really understand what you have been presented, so I should go to the next presentation. Okay, thank you, Ms. Maureta. Okay, we go to the next presentation with the paper entitled Comparative Analysis of Mamdani, Sugeno, and of Fuzzy Inference System for Medicine Procurement. This paper will be presented by Kanda Januar Wiraswan. Okay, please, Mr. Kanda.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Firdaus, for the chance that already given to me. Okay, for my presentation, I'll start.
Please, the microphone, Mr. Kanda. I can hear your voice.
Sorry. My microphone was below. I already change the configuration of my microphone. So this is my presentation. I will start to share my screen. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the chance from the moderator to give me a chance to present my presentation. I am Kanda Januar Miraswan, as the second author of and as the co-author of this paper. The paper title is Comparative Analysis of Mamdani, Sugeno, and Tsukamoto Algorithm of Fuzzy Inference System for Medicine Procurement. The first author is Doni Mika. I am as the introduction. So my main topic is about pharmacy. Pharmacy is a place to distribute the medicine to the public, where other people can buy by using prescription. Or overstocks are the common problem mistakes in pharmacy. So we need to have an optimal stock that we already have in pharmacy, because unavailability means someone as customer to buy are unable to buy because we don't have the medicine, or overstock means that we have stock that more than what are needed. The overstock will make the medicine become expired if that are not sold in the meantime. Because of that problem, it will have three problems. The first is irregular medicine placement, and then unorganized record keeping, and the last is inoptimal procurement of the medicine. Medicine procurement is one of the pharmacist's duties to optimize the amount of medicines at pharmacy. Inoptimal medicine procurement often occurs due to several factors such as medicine recovery rate and patient behavior. Related to this problem, it is necessary to estimate the amount of medicine fuzzy logic to help the pharmacist. So we need to know how many relate to the stock of the medicine that we have, and we request from the customer. In this method, we use fuzzy logic method. The fuzzy logic has the concept of truth, where the membership value are between 0 and 1, compared to the Fritz logic that have value are just 0 or 1. There are no things such between in 0 and 1. And the fuzzy logic has the ability to develop intelligent system in First is the medicine dataset. We have medicine dataset that we will use to develop the software, and from the software development we will build three inference systems such as Mamdani, Sugeno, and the Tsukamoto to predict the medicine dataset in the future. And from the prediction, we can use the MAPE to measure whether it is very good, qualify, or poor in the prediction. Here is the medicine dataset that we use from January 6, 2020 until March 27, 2020, with the total medicine of 100 medicine. So here is all the list of the medicine that we use. And then from the software development, we have 4 phases using RUP: inception, elaboration, construction, and transition to collect the data, to design the software, and then develop the software, and the last is to make the analysis from the software. The method that we use is fuzzy logic has 3 kind of fuzzy inference system, which is Mamdani, Sugino, and Sukamoto. The study aims to estimate how much selling, stock, and booking of the medicine from the pharmacy by applying fuzzy inference system. The first method is Mamdani method. This method are using min-max method by getting an if-then rule, and from the if-then rule, we can use implication function using min function. So the if side will be given an operator of min function, and then we use a process of combining the output of the if-then rules using max method. So this method is also called min-max method. And for this to get this defuzzification, we can use two kind of function. We can use continuous or discrete, but we prefer use it using discrete variable to calculate the defuzzification output by taking center of the output. The second method is Sugeno method. This method produces an output not in the form of fuzzy set, but in the form of constant or linear equation. The Sugeno fuzzy model are usually defined as if there is an antecedent and there is a then what is called a precedent, and then if and then, but by using linear model, we can use constant from the first equation or using linear model to the second equation, and the defuzzification is done by finding the average value. So from the antecedent we can use it to find the average value, and the third one is using Sukamoto method. By the consequence is using if then rule that must be represented as a fuzzy set with membership function. In this method using Sukamoto, there are alpha predicate that use. Using this rule, if X is A and Y is B, then Z is C. So all of the A, B, and C are the fuzzy set. This is that we use in Sukamoto model. And for the defuzzification, using this equation are looks like Sugeno, but the consequent are using membership function, not like Sugeno that using linear equation. For evaluation performance, we use MAPE or mean average percentage error to measure the prediction result. These are the table. Whether if the MAPE results are below 10%, it is very good. If it is between 10 to 20%, it is good. If it is between 20 to 50%, it is qualified. And if the MAPE score is above 50%, it's the prediction are poor. And the MAPE formula is using this equation is using sigma of difference of xt, the prediction and the real, and divide by the real number, and then it divide by the number of the value, and it will be times by 100%. Here are the results from the first week of the fuzzy inference system. In here we have the 50 first medicine. So there is stock and selling for the input, and the output is booking. Then there are 3 inference Mamdani.
Make your presentation faster, Mr. Kanda.
Okay, sir. There is Mamdani, Sugeno, and Sukamoto prediction result, and it has its own MAPE for the first week. And the next slide is the half 50 of the medicine. And from the total of the average, we can conclude that this has average from the Mamdani, the MAPE average is 22, Sugeno is 10%, and Sukamoto 12%, where the Sugeno has one MAPE that below 3%. The prediction score are in this graph, and then this is a MAPE score. The Mamdani are the worst because MAPE score the greater it become the worst. And the result is based on this experiment. We use 3 fish and use 5 fuzzy set, and it can produce a very good performance because it below 20%. The average for Mamdani is 22, Sugeno is 10%, and Sukamoto is 12%. So it can be analyzed that Sugeno is closer to actual value with MAPE score are 10%. And Sugeno fuzzy system improves the weakness of pure fuzzy system to add a simple mathematical calculation as part of them. So fuzzy Sugeno get the best performance in this testing. For the future work to have an increased number of research, we can enable that influence the calculation. That's all for my presentation. I give back to moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kanda Januar Miraswan, from this presentation. Is there any question from all of the audience? The participant from Universitas Indonesia. Okay, if that is the case, I will ask Mr. Kanda one question. Is there any latest inference system method in fuzzy, Mr. Kanda?
Okay, sir. For the latest inference fuzzy, we can use fuzzy type 2. There are what I know two kind, Wu-Mendel and Karnik-Mendel, that can be used to predict, but it will have a heavy requirement because in fuzzy type 2 there are upper bound and lower bound for each fuzzy set, so it will make further research to complete it.
Okay, you will do the research with the latest method in the future.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kanda. Okay, that's all the presentation from all the participants in room 1, AI and NLP. Okay, we should close this session because all the participants already present their paper. There is no day 2 because this room only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 papers. So tomorrow there is no presentation anymore. If there's any question about the conference, about this conference, you can ask the question directly to the chair or the committee. Okay, thank you all the participants. We can close this session by saying Alhamdulillah. See you next conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh. Photo session. There. Photo session. Okay, all of the presentations for all the participants. Turn the camera. Foto session. Okay. Pandu.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are take picture for first picture. Okay, count 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, think enough. Thank you.
Okay, see you in our next conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, sir.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Okay, I'm as the committee will inform you that tomorrow we still have 2 keynote speakers in the morning. So please come again at 7 a.m. to register again and follow the keynote. We have 2 keynote, Dr. Wahyu Sesandra and Mr. Samsu Reddy tomorrow morning. That's it for the information. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.